Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your host, MA, coming at you with another episode of Heat Block Spot. Today's episode is going to focus on the Heat versus the Bucks series. It's a preview to the second round matchup the Heat have that we earned, that we're about to get. Today's August 31st, Monday. I know today we play our first game against the Bucks, but bear with me as I preview us just hours away from our journey. Yes, hours away, guys. And if you can, of course, we always like to start this with a, hey, can you help me out? Whatever you're listening on, can you please follow, like, subscribe, comment, share, do whatever you want. I appreciate all the help. If you're on YouTube today listening, unfortunately, I don't have a video playing. I just decided to make this more of a podcast because, again, this was supposed to come out yesterday and life got the best of me. So I just had to come out with a vocal episode. You'll have a slideshow. It is what it is. All right, guys. So the Heat play the Bucks. Let's not lie to ourselves, guys. Yes, we beat the Bucks twice out of 3 times this season. One of those times, though, you gotta remember, it was one of the first games of the week. Jimmy was not playing of the week, or one of our first games of the season. Sorry, one of our first games of the season. Jimmy was not playing. Justice Winslow was still a big part of our rotation. It was before he started getting hurt with all his knick-knack stuff, and Giannis did not play. So technically, we only played 2 real games against the Bucks, and we won one of them. So I know the media and everything's got us like pumped, and I even one for sure think that we have the tools and everything to beat this team. But I just got to remind everybody that this is still a very good team, and the sample size that we've gotten of the series so far, of what it could potentially be, is very, very small, and I don't think it's going to represent exactly what we're going to watch these next coming games starting tonight at 6:30. That's correct, guys. Tonight, 6:30 on TNT, you will get to watch the Heat take on the Bucks in the first game of round 2. So make sure you're on the TV for that, because that will be. And if you don't know already, next game will be September 2nd. That'll be Wednesday, just a couple days from now at 6:30 as well. It should be on TNT. And while I'm on it already, I'll just go through the schedule real quick. It's every other day, basically. Friday, September 4th will be Game 3. Sunday, September 6th will be Game 4. And if need be, if necessary, Game 5 will be Tuesday, the 8th of September. Game 6, Thursday, the 10th of September. And Saturday, the 12th of September, will be Game 7. All these to be determined. What station, what time. It's all in flux because it all depends on what's going on with the other teams and which teams are better to watch at which time. Also West Coast, but I will guarantee most of the time we're going to be at 6:30 because we're on East Coast, and they'll probably have the West Coast teams and West Coast games going on around 9 o'clock. So don't worry about that too much. Now, like I was saying, the Bucks is a good team. Like, let's not kid ourselves, guys. The Bucks had the best record, scored the most points, had the best defense. I mean, they're very, 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 very good team. Let's not lie. They're number 1 for a reason. They had the best record in the league, not just the East, in the league. And I gotta show their respect. You gotta respect the team. You know, yes, we have Bam that can guard Giannis. We have Iggy. We have Jay Crowder that's probably gonna start guarding Giannis. We got Jimmy Butler that can take care of Chris Middleton. We got Derrick Jones Jr. that could mess up Chris Middleton. But here's where the Bucks have us. I would say the Bucks get us with their size, and specifically only one player again. The same thing that we had to face with the Indiana Pacers, how they had Miles Turner. We're going to have to face Brook Lopez. And they might even play his brother Robin Lopez. It's going to depend on how well we're shooting and what our scheme is to combat the Bucks, but for sure 100% Brook Lopez will play, and he will start. And he's having a terrible restart seeding games, but the guy is a threat. He's a big body. He's gone a lot better on defense and blocking, which is surprising me. The good thing, he can't rebound for shit. For his size, I don't know why he's such a bad rebounder. whatever the case may be, and he can shoot. The guy will shoot threes confidently, and he can spread the floor, which takes Bam. If Bam decides to guard him, will take him out of the game. So I think Spo is going to have to play with a different rotation. And what I mean by rotation, I don't mean he's going to sub out different players and we're not going to play certain other players. I believe that he's going to time who comes in and out at the right time. We might see Derrick Jones Jr. play on Brook Lopez a little bit. The thing I'm scared of is that if Brook Lopez decides and realizes that he has size on us, in this whole series, that he's gonna take advantage of it, and we might not have an answer for it, because I still don't believe Miles Leonard is our answer, and I don't believe anybody of our big guys are our answer. If you guys don't know, Chris Silva has a fracture in his pelvic bone, so he most likely is out for the rest of this playoffs, unfortunately. So that's a big man we lose, and he is a very energetic, very good big man, which I was more than happy to lean on if he had to. So our other big man is Miles Leonard, Udonis Haslem, Kyle Alexander. It's very thin line. We have a very thin line, so we're gonna have to really rely on our 3-point shooting and our playmaking and our defense especially, and 100% our rebounding. We have to do great rebounding. So to me, we're playing a very similar team in the Pacers, but with better players, a superstar in Giannis, a better veteran big man in Brook Lopez, and better supporting cast for Giannis, with Chris Middleton being an all-star, and just shooters of Kyle Korver, Pat Connaughton, DiVincenzo, George Hill. Bledsoe is okay at shooting. It's going to be a tough, interesting battle, and our defense is going to have to carry us all the way. The good thing with Bam and Jimmy on our team, we don't have to really worry about their defense too much. Excuse me. We don't have to worry about our defense too much, because I would think and I would rely on our 2 stars to make sure that that side of the ball is always clicking at 100%. Where I'm scared and frustrated is, and where I get my anxiety from, is our offensive side. Again, this team is very good, the Bucks. They're one of the best defensive teams, and they do a great job of keeping people out the paint. Yes, we don't get most of our points out of the paint. We shoot threes. But if you remember the last series against the Pacers, and especially that last game, we had to score a lot of points in the paint. Especially when our shots not going down. And against great defensive teams, we don't shoot the best, honestly. Luckily, there's not a whole lot of defensive teams in the league, which is why we shot so great, and we were probably the best three-point shooting team in the whole league. But that doesn't change the fact that the Bucks have the best defense, and they stop us from interior scoring as best they can. So guys, this is going to be a battle. It will be up and down, and I'll just go straight into my keys of this series. So one of my keys to the series, and a lot of this reflects the Pacers preview episode. So if you guys start seeing some, comparisons, go ahead, whatever the case may be. I don't care. But these are still my keys, because a lot of these keys could be our weakness. And that's why I'm going to bring them up, because if we don't take care of our weaknesses, how can we depend on our strengths? It's just, it just, to me, it's simple, common sense, but I guess let me explain myself. So the first thing I would say is free throw shooting. Free throw shooting will be big in this whole series. We are a better free throw shooting team than the Bucks. We, for the season, have shot 78.7%. The Bucks have only shot 74.2%. That's good news. That means they don't have a lot of great shooters, especially Giannis. He goes to the line a lot. He's not a great shooter. I think Chris Middleton for sure is their best shooter at the free throw line, but to me, he can't create offense for himself. He's very catch and shoot, very 1-2 dribble shoot. He doesn't have a lot of offense. So, and that's why I think Jimmy or Derrick Jones Jr., maybe Iggy, will be on him just to mess him up and make sure he doesn't get off. We really need to force ourselves to the free throw line because again, this is a very good defensive team. So Jimmy's gonna have to get to the free throw line. Dragic, Tyler, these three guys for sure have to get to the free throw line at least 3 times a game. So that means each of them, and Jimmy will get more than this, but Dragic and Hero will have to get to the line at least 3 times, at least shoot at least 6 free throws to keep us in this game and keep our pace. Again, that helped us against the Pacers tremendously when we get to the foul line. That one game we shot 50 free throws compared to their 20-something. Free throws will be huge. We cannot miss a lot of free throws. We have to take advantage because the free throws could be the difference of what makes us up by 5 at the end of the game or makes us up by 15 at the end of the game. Seriously, that's how big free throws are. So if we take care of business at the line as well as put their worst shooters at the line, I think we're going to be more than okay and make sure we have a fighter's punch in our series. Now, next point. The Bucks scored the most points on average this season. They scored 118.7 points per game. We're not even that close. We're at 112. That's a big difference. That's a 6-point gap, guys. That's a couple threes. That's some that's a lot of things right there. And that just shows how well defensively we have to be on this team. Yes, Giannis is their key. He's their main vein. He's the guy that keeps the engine rolling for them. But we have role players and they have veterans that have been here before and are not going to want to lose. So I think our goal is to bring down their points per game to something more similar to us. We have to make sure that we run out at every three-point shooter they have whenever they get the ball. We have to make sure that we're rebounding so we don't give them offensive rebounds. We have to make sure that our hands and our communication is on point. We have to communicate 100% with ourselves the whole time because this team will move. Mike Budenholzer teams move. They have motion offensive. If you guys remember his Atlanta Hawks team from a couple years ago when they went off and they had Kyle Korver, Teague, Millsap, Horford, all these guys that they were not superstars, but they were the best in the East because they just played like a team. They were all over the place. Everyone was contributing, and this team was a lot like that, but with the difference of having a superstar in Giannis. So we have to try to keep him in check. If it's me, if I'm Spo, I'm letting Giannis do as much as he can. Because Giannis is more of a 2-point threat. He's not a 3-point threat at all. He can shoot the 3 a little bit. He might have a little spurt here and there. And I mean by little, I mean like he'll come back and hit 2 threes in a row, and then he won't hit anything for, 3 quarters straight, shot-wise. So that's not a big deal. If I'm Spo, I put Bam on Giannis just to bother him, but make the rest of the team beat us. Try to make Chris Middleton beat us. But that's going to be tough for him with Jimmy, Derrick Jones, Iggy on him. Try to put Brook Lopez to beat us. Brook Lopez, to me, is not a consistent, well-enough player, but he could use his size. Again, Brook Lopez, the only player I'm worried about. I'm not worried about Bledsoe. I'm not worried about DiVincenzo. I'm not worried about Korver. I'm not worried about anybody else on that team except for Giannis and Chris Middleton. Let anybody else beat us. If we lose to Brook Lopez, whatever. I'll live with that, but I know Spo can find a way to bother Brook Lopez by still, locking down and clamping down on the Bucks' best 2 players in Giannis and Chris Middleton. So we just got to keep their points under 118. Don't let them get comfortable. Don't let them play their game plan. Play our top defense, and we have to. And honestly, guys, these are going to be scrappy grind games. We're going to depend a lot on our shooting. And we're going to depend a lot on our speed, and our defense too. It's going to be very, very grindy. Just don't think of a shootout's going to happen. My next point, rebounding. Again, they have a big man. They were one of the best rebounding teams. This team does not allow second chance points. They do not allow points in the paint, which allows them to get more rebounds because more teams are shooting against them, which means balls are going to, and if they're boxing out and they're making sure they're protecting the paint, those rebounds are coming right to them. There's always going to be green jerseys near that ball. They average 51.7 rebounds per game this year. compared to our 44.4 rebounds. That's a big cause of concern, guys. Remember, we don't have any size. Giannis is a big dude, 6'11", long as arms. He hops and he's dunking. Brook Lopez is a very, very big man compared to any of our big guys. Myers Leonard's arms do not go as high as Brook Lopez's arms. They might be the same height, and Brook Lopez looks a whole lot bigger than Myles Leonard, unfortunately. We have to take care of rebounding. And it has to be a team collective thing. I don't know how big Spo is gonna be in our transition offense. Like, I think he's gonna play a lot of half court offense and just make sure we get the ball and then set up our offense to some kind of scheme to score on them. Of course, if we get a block or a rebound, he wants our guys running and gunning. Go as fast as you can and get the best shot out of that, if it's a three or a dunk or whatever the case might be. But off regular rebounds and off regular plays, I mean, we got to stay consistent and we got to stay, aggressive, but also smart, and make sure we box out everybody, because that whole team collectively rebounds very well. George Hill is a sneaky good rebounder. DiVincenzo and Pat Connaughton, those guys are young hustlers that are trying to make a name for themselves and make sure they don't get out of this rotation. Brook Lopez, again, he has the size against us. Kelly Olynyk is not as tall as him. KO, I haven't brought out KO, but we all see KO's limitations. He's not a very strong guy. He doesn't jump very high. But he has his strengths. And trust me, this is something the Bucks are going to push for. They're going to try to out-rebound us, and they're going to try to get second-chance opportunities, because they know that if anything, their best shot a lot of times is going to be a three-pointer. And when that three-pointer goes up, I'm sure Giannis and Brook Lopez are going to be told to attack the rim and get that ball back if they miss. So whoever's guarding those two men have to make sure at all times they're boxing out. And same thing with their role players, especially their young role players. Wesley Matthews, you don't have to worry about. Eric Bledsoe, you don't have to worry about too much. But those other young guys, those veterans they're going to scrap and grind, because this is all they know how to do, and this is what they get paid to do right now. So with those numbers of 51.7 to the Bucks and 44.4 rebounds per game to the Heat this season, I mean, the Bucks are going to come at us, guys. They're going to come at us, and they're going to try to make sure that their strengths are our weaknesses. So we got to cover that up. Now, another good point that I want to make is our three-point shooting. Our three-point shooting is the biggest thing for us in this game. Okay? Like, that's the only thing we have going for us in this series, really. Free throw shooting and three-point shooting. We have, on the year, have shot 37.9% from 3 points. The Bucks have shot 35.5%. I mean, guys, that's a big difference, just because of the volume we shoot at. And they shoot a lot of threes too, but they don't have as much potent three-point shooters as we do. So, guys, for me, we have to have our best three-point shooting series, like, in this whole playoffs. This is the only team that I'm worried about that we have to hit threes against. Because even though they only got 35.5% shooting compared to our 37.9% shooting, they have shooters. Like, they do. Those guys are streaky shooters too. They're streaky. Brook Lopez can get hot one game. He's having one of the worst playoffs, but he'll hit fucking 4 in a row like it's nothing. Chris Middleton will do the same. Kyle Korver, I don't never sleep on that guy. That guy could be 45 years old, and I'll still fucking put a hand in his face, because that guy is money. Money, money, money. This team will be this will be our most difficult test right here. Our most difficult test. But we need to hit our shots. And this means Duncan. Duncan has to create opportunities for himself. He's going to have to run hard. I'm telling you, they're going to put Chris Middleton on him or something. They might even put Giannis on him. Don't be surprised if Duncan gets hot in one of these games, if they just put Giannis on him just to keep him down. And that's the thing. I don't want to put this on Duncan, because honestly, it has to be Dragic, it has to be Tyler Hero, it has to be Jay Crowder. It's gonna have to be Jimmy. Honestly, I could see the Bucks giving up shots to our worst three-point shooters. Hey, Bam, you want to shoot? Go ahead. Hey, Jimmy, you want to shoot? Go ahead. Go prove us wrong. You're a different player in the defense. And I mean, in the playoffs. I'm sorry. Go prove us wrong that you're a different player in the playoffs. That's what they're going to try to do. They're going to try to bother us and bring us out of our element so much that we have to do the same thing back to them. All right, we have to run out to their three-point shooters because we have to respect their three-point shooters just like they're going to respect ours. I'm worried because they have 4 shooters surrounded by Giannis. We only have 3 shooters surrounded around Bam and Jimmy. You know, in this day and age, shooters are a lot more lethal than big guys or defensive guys at times. Look at the Houston Rockets. Yes, they might win today, they might not, but you can't tell me that 3-point shooting ain't lethal. Like, when you watch that team, in a blink of an eye, in minutes, you can be only down 2 points, and then in a blink of an eye, you're down 20 points to them because they just hit 6 to 7 threes in a row coming down, bop 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 bop. And it was all the different players. It was Covington, Gordon, Harden, everybody just coming at you. It's a wave of threes. And that's what I'm saying. Like, we have to respect this team. They've made it to have shooters all around him, around Giannis. So I think our 3-point shooters have to stay consistent. But again, Bam and Jimmy have to be aggressive and have to hit their shots. I'm telling you, Brook Lopez will let Bam shoot. He will look him straight in the eye because Brook Lopez camps. He camps in the paint. He just waits for people to come in. They don't care that he doesn't go out to the 3-point line. All they want him to do is to rebound and camp and block shots. Bam is going to have opportunities to shoot. And Bam is not a big dude, so he's not going to have a lot of opportunities to score in the paint. He's not, clearly. He's going to have to shoot, and I hope they have had a week and since our last game. I'm hoping, but of course, we did have a player strike in the middle of this, but hopefully they've been looking at tape. They were pretty sure that they were going to play the Bucks, and he's been working on his shot to make it a little bit more confident because he just needs to make a couple. Again, he doesn't have to score all his points from shooting, but he needs to make them respect his shot, especially early on. If they leave him open and he pops it and he makes a couple or makes at least one, Brook Lopez now goes, okay, I got to keep a foot closer to him, but I still got to remember I got to block. So that opens up everything, guys. That creates free throws for us too, because now that Brook Lopez has to respect and keep that foot out there a little bit more, he's going to be a little late to the coverage. He's going to be a little late to his help defense. That's when our players can take advantage, take the body hit the shot, get to the free throw line, or don't hit the shot, hit 2 free throws. So they're going to have to, and Jimmy too. Jimmy, don't be surprised if Jimmy, they don't put Giannis or Chris Middleton and they put somebody else on him, maybe Bledsoe or something, maybe someone with size and speed to bother him. Like, don't be surprised. Like, I can totally see that. And he's going to have to prove that he can score in different ways, or he's going to have to keep fighting himself to the free throw line. Like, when he realizes that they're trying to force him to shoot a 3, he's going to have to do a move. He's going to have to get a couple of juke moves to get in, to create some space, take the contact, and get to the free throw line. I don't have no doubt that he can do that, but it won't be easy against this team. Let's not kid ourselves. This is a good team. We still got to respect this team. Now, those are my 4 key categories to the game. 3-point shooting, rebounding, points, and free throw shooting. Those 4 right there will be the biggest things for this series for us. But now, let me get into the key players. Now, my 3 players for this series, we have to depend on these players. Like, if any of these 3 players in my eyes, if these 3 players, any of them, do not have great games, and I mean either good to great games, then we probably lose that game. My first key player, Tyler Hero. Tyler Hero off the bench needs to continue to be a scorer, an aggressive scorer, and continue to hit 15 points or more. He has to. This bench of the Bucks is not that great, which is what gives us another advantage. We need our bench to be better. KO is in that category. Iggy needs to come correct. And Derrick Jones Jr. needs to do what he can when he can. But the top one that I'm picking out of those 4 in our bench is Tyler Hero, because he has skills and he has the wider range of all these offensive moves and different ways of scoring that he can be very effective against their second unit. Their second unit is not great. Our second unit has to be better every time for us to win this series. Every game, our second unit has to be better than the Bucks. If their second unit comes out better than us, then we will not win. 100% for sure we will not win. But Tyler Hero needs to be the one off our bench to start this and be consistent and make sure we always have bench scoring in our games. My second player is Goran Dragic. Dragic's right now our starting point guard, and he's been lethal in the fourth quarter. He needs to continue that. No matter what happens, Dragic, throughout quarters 1 through 3, you have to be on your game. You have to make sure that fourth quarter comes, that you're on your game, because you already know they're going to try to clamp down Bam, they're going to try to clamp down Jimmy, and they're going to try to clamp down Tyler. Dragic's always been the one that gets open, that can create his offense, that can use pick and rolls, that can get other players in it. Dragic needs to be lethal again. He needs to become the Dragon every fourth quarter, because every fourth quarter, unless it's a blowout game for some stupid reason, every fourth quarter will be a close one, just like the Pacers series. I really do expect this series to be a lot like the Pacers series, where it's grit and grind and fighting, and then our fourth quarter is when our veteran leadership needs to take over, and Dragic, the Dragon, needs to continue to be the Dragon in the fourth quarter. No matter what, take it in, get fouled, hit your threes, do your shots, do your step back, all of it, Dragic. Just bring it out in the fourth quarter, because we're going to need it, and all the attention of the Bucks will be elsewhere, and this is when he needs to take advantage of it. Now, my last key player for us in this series, Bam Adebayo. Bam is so important that it's not about his scoring. Honestly, it's not. I don't care. To me, he should just have probably 8 points per game. And those 8 points is a couple of putback shots and 2 jumpers. 2 jumpers to have Brook Lopez, whoever's guarding him, respect the game. And then his 2 putbacks, or, cleaning up the glass when he can. Or whatever, a nice cut, whatever the case may be. But Bam needs to set the tone defensively every game and every half of this series. He needs to. We all know he's going to be on Giannis. We all know he might go to Chris Middleton, but for sure Giannis. He needs to control the rebounding. He needs to control the paint defensively. He has a lot of duties in this series. Honestly, there's a lot on his shoulders. Think about it. If Bam gets hurt in this series, who can take Bam's place? I mean, the closest guy I can think of is Derrick Jones Jr. It's not Myles Leonard. It's not Kelly Olynyk. Derrick Jones Jr. is the closest thing to my mind, but unfortunately, Derrick Jones Jr., his frame is so slight. It's so thin right now that you can't depend on him in heavy minutes. You can't depend on him against big players. We don't have anybody tall. Maybe Jay Crowder can to fill in a little bit, but Jay Crowder ain't tall. He doesn't have hops like that. He can shoot, he hustles, he gets rebounds, but he's just not Bam. No one's Bam. So Bam needs to be a key player. And I'm not gonna mention Jimmy. Jimmy, we all know Jimmy. We all know what Jimmy should bring. We all know what we need from Jimmy: free throw shooting and defense, and timely shots. But Bam needs to set the tone at all times. No matter what, he needs to be the engine for our team. Just engine, going, making sure no matter what is going on the scoreboard, our team is 100% focused on winning that game. Hopefully that's what happens. I don't know. But it's going to be one of the hardest playoff series for Bam Adebayo. He has a lot of responsibilities, and the biggest one is trying to contain Giannis as well as he can. And he's played well against them, but now it's a 7-game series where coaches is a chess match, chess match. chess match, basically, of the coaches. And Bam's a big piece for us. Bam's a huge piece. So, guys, with all that, with my free throw shooting, points, rebounding, three-point shooting as our key players being Tyler, Bam, and Dragic, if everything goes right, we will win this series 4-2. That's correct. My prediction is that Thursday, September 10th, when that day ends, we'll be moving on to the Eastern Conference Finals to play either the Bucks or Celtics, which if you watch that first game, looks like it might be the Celtics. But yes, I think in 6 games, the Heat will take down the Bucks. I'm not going to say we're going to sweep. I'm not even going to say 5 game because this team is too deep, has too many veterans, is very well coached, has a superstar MVP, could most likely be 2-time back-to-back MVP or whatever the case may be. Don't sleep on this team. Don't let the media hype get you. I know ESPN and every NBA player on the ESPN is saying the Heat are going to win, the Heat are going to win, the Heat are going to win. This is exactly what the Bucks want, though. You know what? As much as it's fueling us as fans, it's fueling the Bucks. Because right now you're disrespecting the Bucks season. I'm not trying to disrespect that Bucks season. The NBA is tough. This is tough competition. The best of the best athletes of the sport play in this league. So, guys, respect to the Bucks. Honestly, there's gonna be a couple games where we don't finish our shots. Or a couple of calls won't go our way. We'll miss free throws. We'll miss threes. Whatever the case may be, it's gonna happen because this team is that well coached and they're that well prepared. But I do think the coaching of Spo, the intangibles we got, and focusing on those key categories, we will come out victorious and ready to take on whoever comes out in the Celtics versus Raptors to see what a great series Eastern Conference Finals will have. But man, this is gonna be a battle. Again, guys, this is a battle. I don't want to scare you guys either, but I want this to be real. I don't want you guys to feel too confident where you go in tonight thinking that we're going to whoop some ass and you're going to see 10 blocks and you're going to see raining threes, which might very well happen. You never know. That might happen. I mean, if that happens, then fucking great. Let's go. But if not, again, guys, it is what it is because the Bucks are a real team. They're the best team all season for a reason. We have to come more correct than they do. It can't be the other way around. The good thing is that the Bucks definitely did not come correct against the Magic. And, I don't want to use this as a crutch. I don't want to even see this as a good thing. But yes, the Bucks players are the ones that started the whole NBA strike. So their heads could be in other places while they're playing this game. But I don't want to use that as an excuse. And because I think those players are right to think like that. Those players had a right to strike the game. Those players are more than just basketball players. They're human beings. So it is what it is. But guys, you know what? I think that's going to end my episode for today. Again, the Heat will beat the Bucks 4-2. September 10th, we will be celebrating that. Our keys to the series: free throw shooting, keeping their points down, rebounding, keeping them out of the paint with our rebounding, 3-point shooting, making sure we shoot lights out better than them, and making sure these 3 players in Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo, and Goran Dragic are at the best and the times we need them to. We do all those things, guys. I guarantee all of us will be celebrating a trip to the Eastern Conference Finals. Booyah. Now, don't forget, tonight's the game. Monday, August 31st, 6:30 p.m., TNT. Don't forget, guys. All right, don't forget to wear your United in Black gear, wear Black Heat stuff. It's all good. The Heat are back right now tonight. Let's take this win. Let's get it. Let's bring it, because the Heat is on. Thank you, guys. Thank you, ladies. Thank you, everyone, for listening. I hope you guys have a great day. Enjoy the game today.